What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. I have Qatar finally won the race for Manchester United. Certainly seems like it's going that way. Momentum is carrying with Qatar. I had loads of updates today, which I'm sure every single one of you have seen, been reading about. It's going through your Twitter consistently. And what we're going to do, we're going to direct this roller coaster from start to finish of basically how today has played out in terms of developments on this story. So we've got Sam on the show, first and foremost. How are you, Sam?
Yeah, all good. Just wanted to say shout out to Grey 100 who's just become a Res Ultra member. What a fucking time to do it. This
I know,
goes on.
I know.
What a time.
Yeah.
What a time. But yeah,
Absolutely.
this is one normal day as a United fan is all you ask for, isn't it? One day.
Yeah.
Just one day where nothing happens would be nice. Just one.
I mean, even for Manchester United standards, today has been busy, like busy. It feels like it's been a bit of a kind of journalistic war going on Twitter between back and forth between certain people, which we're going to touch on as well. But the day started, which seems like it was like yesterday now, but it was literally like 2:00. Rio Ferdinand took to his Vibe with Five channel and kind of stuck his neck out there and said that Manchester United takeover is imminent. We're hearing the Qatari bid is the one that's taken over, the one that's going to be accepted, and the one that is going to go through. The Qatari takeover is something that we've been waiting for a long time. We're hearing that it's close with a matter of days that will happen, if not hours. Fingers crossed that is right. I've got it from a good source, basically. So a lot of people kind of took that and he was like umming and ahhing about it because let's be honest, I mean, Rio isn't a tier 1 or a David Ornstein or anything like that. No. But the last time he kind of announced something big, I'm sure you remember, was the Cristiano Ronaldo thing when he was giving all that them gifts online and stuff like that. Obviously, this is a slightly different situation, but just give us your reaction to that initially, and then we're going to touch on everything else. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, like you, Rio is not a journalist. He's a former player, a great player, like one of the best players that's ever played for United.
Yeah.
He does have connections because, as you would, if you played football at a highest level for Manchester United, you will have connections.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to use them to the point of a journalist where you're going to be like checking and double checking. But if someone tells you something, you're going to be like, okay. And most of the time they keep it under the hat. Most of the time they don't say anything. They'll just sort of be in the know about it. Whereas Rio likes to sort of drop stuff on social media quite a lot. He's done it throughout his like after his playing career. Like you said with the Cristiano Ronaldo thing, what was the eyes emoji or the sort of
it was like a Leonardo DiCaprio thing, wasn't it? I think it was like
he put that out and then you were like, right, what is going on here? And everybody got excited and then it came true. He was for real. So He's got proof, he's got legitimacy, and he's got links to the club, and he knows people. So, does he know 100% sure? I don't know, but it seems like for everything else that we're going to get into after this, it seems like he knew something because there's other stuff that since he said that has come out. So,
well, I was going to ask you the question: who do you reckon it is? Who gave him a little? Do you reckon it's like a player who's currently there, like a De Gea? Or do you think it'd be... Because I think he knows people at the board, or he's spoken to people on the board before, like Darren Fletcher's and people like this.
I was going to say, I think it's more like a Darren Fletcher. I don't know if he has connections to current players. Maybe De Gea, but De Gea was just starting as he was finishing, wasn't he? So it was...
Yeah, for a couple... Yeah, because he left him under Moyes, I think, Rio Ferdinand, didn't he? So it was literally like a small, brief period.
So I think Darren Fletcher, he's got connections there because obviously he played with him for a long time.
And he's been on the channel as well, Rio's other channel, that thing, so...
He probably knows Richard Arnold. Richard Arnold's probably had conversations with him, I reckon. I think they've definitely had conversations, so he probably knows quite a few. He's never going to reveal who or tell or say who, but... He probably knows quite a few, but I'd put money on Darren Fletcher for sure. Maybe Fergie. He knows Fergie. Fergie's on the board.
Yeah.
Fergie, because Fergie's a board member, and the board members have to be informed. So Fergie would be in the know, wouldn't he?
I reckon someone's told him something in confidence, and they've said, "Look, Rio, you can't say what I've said, or you can't say who it's from, but you can confidently go out there and say that this bid is looking like it's going towards Qatar."
Yeah.
In which case, he's just like, yes, let's drop this fucking bombshell. Was you going to say something then? Sorry, before I went on to the next bit. Oh, yeah. So then we had news that Sheikh Jassim's business, the 9-2 Foundation, has been registered in the UK today. The 9-2 Foundation was incorporated in the UK, something they'd likely have to do as part of the process, but it's not clear at which stage, and definitely an indication that they at least feel that this is moving forward. Ben Jacobs, financial reporters, come out and said, important to note, despite the excitement that the paperwork for the 9-2 UK Holdings Limited was sent to Companies House months ago, a lot of people getting excited about the date of the incorporation, 15th of June, but this was initiated long before Qatari's last 2 offers. And then Mike Keegan kind of came out and said a similar thing. With regards to the 9-2 UK listing on the Companies House today, my info is that it's not an indicator of a decision of ownership. It's a standard document, which is part of each bidder having everything in place should they be chosen. Any idea, Sam, where your head's at with this fucking 9-2 thing?
Well, like you said, you've covered all that info, but then James from the Muppeteers, who friended the channel, been on a couple of times, he said that may not be necessarily true because you can register a company and have it incorporated within a day. So he could well have done that today or yesterday. So it may not be months in advance, but obviously you want to believe the legitimate journalist over, not saying James doesn't have connections, because he does, he's been proven right several times, but I think James has connections, and we've spoke to him on the channel and he's been proved right. So could he be right? Could they be right? It's difficult to know. It's difficult to know where to go. But yeah, the Brian Casey's in the chat. I've seen a few people saying paperwork can be done in a day. Aaron was saying that's what I was alluding to. Shout out to Aaron and Brian, by the way. Real Reds Ultra members, legit pillars of this community. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, sir.
Brian Hendricks has said Reuters has tweeted again. Do you want to check that, Nick? Do you want to have a look?
I'll have a look. Yeah. Is it, how recent is it though? Is it?
I mean, he's just said now. So I don't know whether he's referring to the one we're talking to or there's a new one that's come out.
Nothing new on mine as it stands. I mean, if you could put the tweet in.
Byron, sorry. Byron? No, Byron. Yeah, Byron put it in the chat for us just so we can see it.
I'll have a look at it.
Can I read some chats out?
Yeah.
There's loads going. Brian Casey, Real definitely has connections and would know. He wouldn't have made the video without some kind of confirmation. Yeah, that's what you alluded to. Aaron, my emotions can't handle these reports. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Neil Saki, even all no news like good news. Well, it's looking so. Hashley, connections or not, nothing's confirmed until it's confirmed. Yeah, I agree, Hashley. I agree. Aaron, I've seen it. Apparently, only takes. I've read that. Neil Saki, Real spilling the beans. Gray, Brian, I'm celebrating with a few black pints. My father-in-law just nicked one though. Gonna kick off.
It's all going off. I've got a bottle ready to go when the news actually gets announced, and I was like in my fridge before.
Club statement.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the club statement because we was all discussing it in the chat, and everyone was winding me up saying like De Jong, Mbappe, and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, it's not. I'm not getting into it because something that broke the other day when with the Al Watar journal and a kid in fucking Cardiff who was reporting it. Obviously, before we knew that, everyone was kind of getting pumped up, and it was like, yes, the club's finally getting sold. You buy into it, and then you hear something that comes out. So I was kind of skeptical at first, and then we've got more stuff to talk about as well. So yeah, we're partly through the day here. So this is like within the space of 3 hours, I'd probably say 3 to 4 hours, which is just insane. So yeah, Manchester United's share price then rocketed up 15%, and everyone was like, holy shit, this is actually happening. The share price got halted. Everyone was like, oh, yeah, this is definitely happening, because usually when the share price is halted, it means transactions going through or they're transferring the shares or something along the lines of that, right, Sam? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, like, from what, like, I don't know a lot about the stock market, but I do know in order to set a sale price to transfer the shares, they will halt sales in order to transfer those shares, because obviously if you don't do that, the price can vary depending on, like, when you're buying the shares, it's hard to set the hard price, because obviously you need a price in order to do that. So I think that's what's happened. However, I've just seen from Faisal Islam, who's the BBC economics editor, shares of Man United were halted due to them rising so quickly due to a Reuters recent report. However, they have now reopened at about 10% up from where they were. So that would suggest that the sale's not complete yet, but they did halt them for a while. But they're now back. They're back on the market. So, and then Simon Stone saying no exclusivity granted, but Reuters didn't say exclusivity to be granted. To be fair, they were just saying they were negotiating exclusively. So they haven't been granted exclusivity, but they are only negotiating with Qatar from the sounds of that.
Yeah.
Ben Jacobs, there is unlikely to be a conclusion to the sales process this week, certainly not in terms of any public or formal announcements. So that's what people are saying.
He's been getting a load of shit off United fans because he's putting stuff out and they're like, why are you dampening our dreams and
why are you ruining this?
Like, what are you doing? And obviously he's just doing his job as you would do as a journalist. There was some kind of not retaliation, but like a few more tweets from Reuters, whatever they're called, the financial kind of journal. And it says, breaking news, United is negotiating granting exclusivity to the consortium led by Qatar's Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani in talks to sell itself for more than $6 billion. United would not be allowed to negotiate with any bidder other than Sheikh Jassim for the exclusivity period. It could not be learned how long this period may last. The situation remains fluid, and a new bid from Ratcliffe could prevent Sheikh Jassim from securing exclusivity. And I think that's important, Sam, because we was just saying before when we had James on the show, and that was something he mentioned, wasn't it? It was like, even if Qatar put this up now, there's no reason why they won't go back to Sajim, right? And they'll just say, like, well, if you want to up it, like, we're here. It's not a done deal yet. Potentially.
I don't think Sajim has the capital to beat this, because that's why he's gone down the route of, I'll keep the Glazers on the board. They can still get money, still collect, all that sort of stuff. He's gone the smart business route of trying to find a different angle on it rather than capital. Because if it's capital versus capital, then Qatar win every single time because you're just not going to compete. So I think that's what that. So I think if Sajim was going to come back in, he'd have to find another way. And I know we spoke about on the previous show where there was different things about the way he structured the deal. A lot of shareholders would be looking to sue Manchester United based on how it went, because they would miss out on money. And then the way the loans and the debt is structured, that may take several weeks to go through and check, which would then delay the takeover process. So there's a lot of sort of complicators with Sajim's sort of deal. So it's a complicated procedure. Like, honestly, it's just, I don't know half of what's going on at this point. I'm just trying to sort of keep up. I'm trying to keep up with it.
Well, when you've got journalists who are top level journalists like Simon Stone, Ben Jacobs, and Mike Keegan, and these guys are all kind of arguing amongst each other, how the fuck are we supposed to know anything that's going on? Because we trust in these journalists to put out credible information. We're not saying they're not putting out credible information, but this whole scenario with the Rain Group and the Glazers and Qatar and Sajim, everyone's being tight-lipped on the situation. So it's hard to get any concrete thing. Like, even when you think it's there and ready for the taking, it's like something else will come out. And that's why you cannot do anything until this official news from the club or from someone like Reuters or someone who's concrete saying it has officially been sold. That's what I'm waiting for, because otherwise we're going to be discussing the same things.
They're under NDAs as well, so any info that's coming out should not really be coming out, or it's based on beliefs or tips or little things that they've found out, because they're both under NDA, so they can't talk about it officially anyway. So everything that's coming out is based on journalists going sources, close to sources, or guessing or figuring stuff out, that kind of stuff. Couple of chats, I'll just run through these. Hashtag Dal, remember when you opened a champagne whiskey on your channel hit 1,000? Now we should open the best champagne to celebrate. Not yet.
Getting there.
Aaron, love to jump on the channel again soon if you guys are up for it. Absolutely, Aaron. Just drop one of us a message anytime you want. You can jump on. Adam, breaking. No one has a clue what's going on. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've gone too far there. Jim. Great. Jim needs to swallow it. He can't beat the Qataris no matter what. Aaron, question for Sam. Been a while since I spoke to you. Are you still in the same stance since the Qatari takeover? More details released with each bid, giving you a preference. I don't want either deal, if I'm honest. Either deal is I don't like either deal, and each deal has got a positive and a negative. So Jim's is positive is because it's not state ownership. It's owned by a guy who he says he's a United fan, but he had a season ticket at Chelsea, so I don't know how true that is. But he's a guy from Manchester, a businessman, and he's not clean himself. Like, he's been accused of greenwashing with Ineos and stuff like that, so he's not clean either. But it's not state ownership, so anything opposed to state ownership, I would prefer. But however, he'd keep the Glazers on. There'd be debt surrounding in the takeover. He don't have the capital in order to invest into the stadium and into other things that we definitely need in transfers. So that would be a concern. And then with the Qatar ownership, state ownership, the LGBTQ laws and workers' rights and all that sort of stuff, oil money, that kind of stuff, I don't agree with any of that. However, it's clean. There's no debt structure. There's no sort of stuff where you have to worry about, all right, where's this money come from, or what? How's he going to get this debt? It's literally no more debt. Money's there. New stadium, new training ground, transfers, everything gets invested, which is what we want, and there's no more Glazers. So each one's got negative and positive. I don't want either, to be honest. My ideal situation is not on the table, so that's where I'm at, really.
Yeah, I've always personally said that ideally I wanted like an Apple or an Amazon or something like that, but I'm sure you can find morally incorrect things within all these kind of companies. And, you know, I take Sam's point. A lot of points he makes absolutely bang on. You talk about the migrant workers in the World Cup and things like that, and their conversations you need to have for sure. I just think you're surrounded by everything now that's like, even like, for example, the shopping. You go shopping at Sainsbury's, that's owned by Qatar.
Yeah.
Like, you're surrounded by it, and it's hard. Like, I'm not saying everyone should just be like, well, if you can't beat them, join them, because you shouldn't have that attitude. You should always go against what you believe. It's just we don't get a choice, ultimately. It's... Nope. I'd rather have Qatar in than Sir Jim keeping the Glazers on, you know, not investing nowhere near as much cash in Manchester United. But at the same time, I'd rather have a different option. If there's 10 options with Sheikh's wealth that wasn't state ownership, I'd much rather go for that. But out of the two right now, give me Qatar.
The ideal one is fan ownership, isn't it? Like, that's the ideal, but that's not on the table, and it's probably never going to be on. It's probably never going to be on the table because of the way football's going. You've got state ownership at Newcastle. You've got state ownership at City, PSG. Like it's not going to happen, unfortunately, as much as I would like it. It's just not a possibility. A couple more chats and then I'll let you get on to that thing. Ashley Dallow, Ratcliffe is smelling the garlic, which is why he said he would invest in Nice in case he failed to attempt to buy Manchester United. Yeah, that did come out. Nothing but Moet Chardonnay for when this is over.
Adam.
That is a champagne, I believe. I don't drink champagne, but all right. Adam G, you have a problem with Guinness, mate. Apparently, Gray wants Guinness. What else have we got? Ratcliffe is a liar. That's Ashley Dallow. How can a Man United fan want to buy Chelsea or worse? How can a Man United fan agree to work with the Glazers? An egoist. That's all he is. A lot of people not fans. Adam, not the biggest fan of Guinness. I like their Hot House 13 they make, though. A couple of people I've spoken to might not support United anymore if Sheikh Jassim wins, which is a shame, from Brian Casey. Yeah, a lot of people did that when the Glazers came in. They set up FC United and they haven't come back since. So everybody's entitled to their opinion and boycott and do whatever they want. Like, I'm not going to tell anybody not to do that. George Thomason, QA. Is that Qatar, I'm guessing? Or
yeah, it's the Qatar emojis. Yeah. Qatar emojis.
Dave Lewis, 9-2 is not part of the state. At least that's what I'll tell myself. Yeah. Aaron Gregory, is there going to be a show of the Glazers' greatest moments when sold? A tribute almost. That would be about 5 seconds long, Aaron.
Yeah.
The Glazers
and that's being generous. But I'll tell you what I will do for a members video idea. I'll do everything they've fucking done and why we're so happy that they're going. That's what I'll do for a show. 100%.
Shah Sam, that Finnish guy was cooking something, then disappeared. Yeah, what happened to him? That Thomas Zilicus, whatever his...
That was all PR, I'm telling you right ridiculous. Now. It was absolute cap that. He was talking bollocks, mate. It was just PR to get his name out there.
Finally, Aaron, still waiting for the Phil Jones tribute show. I mean, he's not going to get a testimonial. I'm not doing a fucking show for him. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Just one last thing on Sir Jim Ratcliffe as well. One of the reasons why I'm so I'm just not entirely sure about it is because everything that's going on at Nice, the whole board of directors. I mean, when he took over the club, he said that, you know, we're going to compete with PSG, we're going to be in the Champions League regular, blah blah blah. And before he got control of Nice, they finished in the top 4. I think it was like 3 times or 2 times.
Yep.
So what he's gone in with his ambitions is just completely not worked out. He's had situations with the directors and managers sacking him and getting rid of like a load of people, just a mess at board level. And then the recruitment as well is questionable. He's bringing in like Ross Barkley, Nicola Pepe, like loads of kind of Premier League rejects into this club. And that hasn't worked out. And then he's selling his best players to Liverpool. And you just like, it just doesn't see. And that's just like, with all due respect, Nice is a small club, like, and it's in the French league.
Yeah.
We're talking about Manchester United here. Like, it's miles apart. Trying to control this club with everything you have to deal with, which Erik ten Hag knows all about, and many others at board level. So that, for me, didn't sit right as well. Nothing about it at all has sat right with me. But everyone has an opinion on it. If some people don't want to support the club anymore because of that, I absolutely understand it. If people are happy because there's being cash injection into the club and maybe we'll be able to compete in Europeans' top competitions, I get it equally.
I retweeted a thread from a guy who was talking about the fan going experience, how it differs to sort of fans, like fans on Twitter who are a United fan, but they're not really a United fan. All their interest is in transfers. They don't really give a shit about the team. Like me and you go to games quite regularly. I know Aaron does. Adam does, even though he lives in Ireland, he comes across every few times a year and does. Dave on channel goes, Chivy, like we're all like match going fans to an extent. The way we view the club is very different to these people on Twitter who, I said, it's going to sound bad, but not everybody can afford to travel from whatever country you're from to United. Like you can't, like not everyone can do that. I understand it's expensive, and tickets expensive, flights expensive, etc. But like we go to football, so we're interested in the games and the football itself. Like transfers are secondary for us. We like them, but it's about the football and how we play. And
the community around it as well.
And people tend to just see this entity and it's just like, oh, the rich person, get Mbappe, get Neymar, and that's all they see. They just see this rather than the football itself. It's like, I don't give a shit who we sign. I care who is right for the team, for Ten Hag, who's going to get the best football and make us play well and be entertaining. That's what I care about. So I'd rather see youth player prospects given it. That's why we call for it so often, like Zidane getting a chance, Mainu getting a chance, Garnacho. Like we want to see that, like one of our own, or a young lad getting an opportunity. That's what we were about. So it's very sad to see all these people twerking for Qatar online. Like I understand, like you want the club to succeed, but I'm not gonna twerk for a dictatorship that treats people like shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a little weird.
I mean, with all the interaction I've had on TikTok and Instagram and anyone who I've ever spoke to, I would say the majority is 80% Qatar, 20% to Jim. Legit from everything
I'd say more. I'd say 90-10.
Probably, yeah. And I think it just comes down to a simple fact: money. Oh, yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. And that's just life in general, isn't it? We've always spoken about it. It's as simple as that. Money will get injected into the club. The stadium's going to get done, the women's team, youth development. Because people are looking across the road to Manchester, looking at Man City, just won a treble. Everything they're doing around the community, and it looks great. And it's like, you kind of want that in a sense. But then you look up, the reasons behind it and why they're doing it, and having the name attached to something like this, even though that committing atrocities, it is a hard one.
Also, we could end up the other side of rich ownership. So if you look at Chelsea, if you look at PSG, and they're just buying superstars, and it's just it's not working. PSG have spent I don't know how much, a lot,
and still not won a Champions League.
Not won a Champions League. And they even failed to win the league a couple of years ago. Like, what was it, Lille? Yeah. Who won the league, I think? Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? And you've got Messi in your team, Neymar, Mbappe. You've got all these like amazing players. You still can't win the Champions League. And it doesn't make a team. You've just got a bunch of individuals on a pitch. I don't want that for you. I don't want us to go out and buy Mbappe and Neymar and people like, oh, yeah, we're going to win everything. We're not. It's not a team.
Yeah.
Ten Hag wants a team, and that's how we should think as United fans. We want a team of people who come to United because A, they want to play for United, and B, they'll add something to the team that we're missing or that would take us to the next level. Like, and I don't, as great as Mbappe is, as great as Neymar is, as a sort of player, I think it's the wrong approach in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong, because you look at everything that's happened at PSG, it's not been amazing considering the amount of money they've pumped and invested into that and the superstars. You tell people last year, you got a lineup of a front three of Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi. Theoretically, that's like the best front three. They should be smashing every single record. It just doesn't always work like that. You need chemistry in there. You need time. You need young players coming up through. You need a whole combination of things, and that's why I think it's important. Regardless of whoever it is who comes in, they need to look at things at board level. They need to look at the structure of the youth academy. They need to have a look at everything, absolutely everything. It's not just It's not just a case of you come in, you spend billions of pounds, and then that's it, problem solved. Everton has spent about £700 million. Look at the mess they're in. They're fighting relegation every single year, so it needs to be spent wisely. One last thing I'll say to Jim before I get into the next kind of question: why can't you buy all of the club? Can anyone answer that?
He ain't got the capital.
So that tells you everything you need to know. Tells you everything you need to know. Like, we need huge investment, and that is because of the Glazers. If we were just getting taken over and the Glazers weren't our owners and we'd been taken care of delicately or whatever, we'd be all right, probably, because we're self-sustainable. Yeah. But because we're in this mess, we need a huge cash injection. So that's where we're at the minute. Do you want to read out a few comments?
Yeah. We were self-sustainable until the Glazers came. Like, we were run by Michael Edwards and stuff. We were self-sustained. Like, we had no issues. That's why we're so successful, because of the brand and the building, Manchester United. But Moondog, Adam, you posh Sligonian with your Moet Chandon, need to get you into Shoot the Crows and Connolly's more often and drinking your Guinness more. So there you go. Brian Casey, 100% Sam, everyone entitled to their own opinion on the matter. Be interested to see if any fans come back after the Glazers go. Yeah, it will be. Hani Ascari, how is Rio linked with the takeover news? He put a video out on his page and basically said a source that he knows has said that it's imminent and the Qatar deal will happen, and that's why all this kicked off. So, what else have we got? Dave, Finnish dude was a good idea, but it's based on inflated fan figures and a pipe dream. Yeah, I agree. Wasn't Sir Jim talk about selling Nice? I don't know. I didn't see that.
Yeah. There was talks with that, but okay. I don't know, man. I won't fucking blame him.
Yeah, Grey 100. I'm looking forward to the 0 second silence from Maguire's service to the club. Yeah, it's coming. Aaron, his own captain Dante slated the ownership of Nice. So yeah. Moondog, I refuse to support the club if it's oil money. Gonna go support Liverpool. Laughing emoji. Yeah, I understand.
Oh god.
Shout out to Shreyas and Danny get up early hours to watch us play the likes of Luton. That's commitment. That's from Aaron. United don't need to be Qatar to be successful. I agree, Brian. Moondog, Sam for Prime Minister. Absolutely not, mate. I don't want that fucking job. That is a horrific job. Slogan can be don't twerk, just work. I mean, why not? Glazers have written to the club too much to the point where I feel a Qatari investment is needed more than I wanted, in my opinion. Yeah, spot on, Aaron. Kilo, relegate Leicester have better training facilities than us. We need some serious investment. I don't think Jim can provide that. I agree. And then STP Mitchell, yo, everyone, everyone is having an amazing day. I am, mate. I hope you are too.
Is that everything? We've got everything?
Yeah, I think we're all caught up now.
Cool. Thank you everyone for interacting. Really appreciate it. Make sure you do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. The next question I'm going to ask Sam, this is a bit of a hypotheticals and looking slightly towards the future. What's the first thing you address if you shake Jassim? If this bid does go through and we believe it's going to happen, whenever it does happen, it's probably looking at next week at this point, in my opinion. But when they do walk through the door, what do you think needs addressing instantly?
Get the players Ten Hag asked for and wants. Get them sorted. So, because we're already, the transfer window opened yesterday, so we're already behind. Get the players he wants. That's the first thing. Sort that out. Get the players he wants so he can start working with them during pre-season and getting stuff sorted, ready for the next season. Then you address the debt. Well, I imagine the debt will get cleared when they take over, I imagine they'll just do that.
Yeah. That's part of the pledge, isn't it?
So that will get sorted anyway. And then the next thing is training facilities and scouting network. I'd sort that immediately. Get the training facilities up to date immediately and get the scouting network sorted. Set people out in South America, in Portugal, wherever you need to be. Just get the scouting network set up. And then the next thing would be look at the board, look at the structure of your technical director, your football director, and all that. Sort all that out, and then the stadium would be that, because obviously that stadium's going to be a massive one that you need to sort of take some time and consideration to. But that's the order I'd do it.
Yeah, there's quite a few funny comments there. Just Aaron says someone needs to sit down and figure out what Darren Fletcher does. Brian Casey saying sack Maguire. That's another one. Get rid of Slabhead. Jesus. Transfers, debt. Take De Gea to the airport. Wow. Yeah. Well, whilst we're on the...
Dave, a massive fan of David De Gea, as always.
Yeah. Well, likewise. Raymond saying... Wait, let me read that first. Offer the young kids private education like City have done. I mean, I don't get that, but fair enough. Whilst we're talking about transfers, Sam, we'll quickly run through the updates with everyone at the minute. Kim Min-jae, Harry Kane, Rasmus Hojlund, all these kind of guys. Kim Min-jae, Bayern Munich, apparently favourites to sign him now, according to Fabrizio Romano. Thoughts on that?
Not happy, because normally when Bayern go for someone, they get him.
Yeah.
So, I think if they're truly in for him and they offer him, I think he's gone. I think we need to move on to another target, because if Bayern going in for him, you're not going to be able to compete with that, because he's guaranteed at least one trophy, if not two, a year at Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga and the Polka. And then you also, I know they didn't do that well this year in the Champions League, but you're also guaranteed to go late stages in the Champions League as well. So I can't see him turning it down if they did come in. But
I was listening to Goldbridge this morning. He was saying, he was speaking to a very credible journalist, kind of behind the scenes, and the way they described United's antics in this transfer market is they're basically telling everyone that they want them, but they're just not bidding any money at all. So they're going around to Kim Min-jae, they're going around to Rasmus Hojlund, they're going around to all these guys saying, "Oh, we want you. We just can't spend the money yet. We're waiting for certain things to happen, e.g. the ownership, the funds, what's going to happen." And also, if they spend money, let's say we buy a player now, right? Mason Mount. Is that just going to come out of the next person who buys the club? Will they have to agree that with them before they come in? It's a minefield. It's weird because the board of directors will be sat there, Richard Arnold, John Murtagh, all these guys, and I'm going to go, right, well, let's go buy this player. And they go, well, where are the funds coming from? Good question. The Glazers? No, they're not going to spend money when they're selling it. Right, so do we put it on a card and then Sheikh Jassim pays it when he comes in? Is that not confusing to you?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, what's happening is they're setting up all these dominoes and these transfers, so they're as far as they can go without actually handing money over. So we've made an approach for Mason Mount. I think the 40 million bid, I saw it described as not a formal offer, but an opening, feeling it out. Yeah, an opening thing. Yeah. It's just to see where they're at. And then obviously Rasmus Hojlund, he's had video calls with him. They've probably agreed personal terms, etc. But now Atalanta have decided they're going to stick another 30 million on top of it, and they want 100 million euros or something, which is insanity, absolute insanity. For that guy, he's a promising prospect, but not that much. Off.
Well, City paid, if we're to believe, £60 million for Haaland, wasn't it, or something like that? So,
how much of a signing on fee and how much did his agent get? Though?
Yeah, obviously there's going to be things behind closed doors and stuff like that. But even still, you can find stuff in the market where for that price, it's it's not worth that. Come off it. No. But yeah, the striker situation, Harry Kane, out of the race. Happy, sad, not bothered.
A little sad because I thought he was the prime sort of striker to get. Premier League proven. Guarantees to score goals even in a shit team like Spurs. Has regularly broke 25, 30 goals a season. His injury record isn't as bad as you think it is. I know a lot of people say injury, but it's not actually as bad as you think it is, and it's definitely improvement on Martial. So there's that. And apparently, from what I've read, it's Ten Hag's dream or ideal striker target. That's the one he wanted.
Well, and then Laurie said it, didn't he? On the show, he said behind the scenes, Ten Hag's really pushing this.
So if that was the guy he ideally wants, then I would have preferred for us to go get him, because if that's what Ten Hag wants, get him. But obviously with the money and stuff like that, Daniel Levy will be wanting God knows what for him. It's a difficult.
Just on that, just to quickly interject. Sorry to think here, but so do you think? Let's say we get Rasmus, right? We go buy Rasmus Hojlund. Do you think maybe if Sheikh Jassim comes in, let's say, for example, we've got a few players in, Mount for 50, Rasmus for and keeper, whatever, centre back. Maybe towards the end, it could be like, well, there's still an opportunity. We've got extra funds there if you want to try push for him towards the end of August. Do you reckon that's potential of that happening?
Yeah, why not? Like, I think we need to go out and get a striker of some sort. So whether that's Rasmus Hojlund or Kolo Muani or Thuram, whoever it is, we need to go get somebody like that. And then if, say, the takeover happens and we can do some dodgy dealings with the sponsorship where Qatar Airways are paying us 400 million a match or something, do you know what I mean? Like some dodgy sign-up things. Oh, look, no, all our income is legit. A lot like City's income is legit, as we all know. So if we could do like that and then we got extra money, and go in and then be like, look, here's 100 million plus add-ons. Take it or leave it. And it's at the end of the window. Maybe if Harry Kane kicks up a fuss, doesn't come into training, doesn't sort of like he did with City, kicks up hands in a transfer request, might be able to do something there. But obviously you'd prefer it to be done pre-season so he could work with Ten Hag tactically, get it all good. Because you saw what happened beginning of last season. We didn't have Caciedo, didn't have Anthony. Lissandro was only just there. We only had Malacia in pre-season, so you'd prefer it to get done, but I won't rule it out. Definitely won't rule it out.
Yeah, it's all right anyway because we get Mbappe, so I won't worry about it, guys. Mbappe en route. Last one I want to talk about, goalkeeper situation. Apparently, again, James from Muppeteers has put this out before, and a few other journalists. Apparently, we're interested in Onana, who's on the list, and Diogo Costa, which I'm sure Dave will be sat in his house right now screaming from the rooftops, kind of thing. Who's your preference, the goalkeeper?
Costa. He looks excellent. He's great with his feet. Yeah. Shot stopping's excellent. Done really, really well for Porto, and I think he would be ideal. And he's still young. How old is he? He's like 20.
Yeah, he's 25, I think.
25.
Yeah, something around that. Yeah.
So I think he'd be ideal. Didn't have a great Euros. Or was it World Cup? Didn't have a great World Cup, but like everybody can have an off tournament. But I think he'd be ideal. He's been scouted extensively by United. I think we've sent more scouts to his games than any player we've scouted in the past couple of years. So we're clearly keen on him. So that would be my ideal one. And if De Gea leaves, that frees up a lot of wages. So that might help us sort of get him because we've got those wages off the books. DC in the chat, not my DC, some other DC, said he's 23. So there you go.
Yeah. Not too far off. Jacob Steinberg was actually reporting on this, and he said if we don't go get Harry Kane or someone of that kind of ilk for that price, and let's say we do get a Rasmus, they're going to use them funds then to spend on a goalkeeper. So you do the math between you think 40 for Rasmus, 60, 70 for Costa. There's your 100 million that you would have spent on Kane. That's the way I think they're going to go, which I wouldn't mind that, to be honest, because I've always said I think Rasmus is a little bit of a risk to put him as your number 9. As you start in, and then maybe, I don't know, they'll dovetail him with Rashford or whatever. But I know for a fact bringing in Costa is just going to, the improvement you'll see from playing out from the back and all the qualities that he has will be, we were pretty much solid anyway at the back in terms of our defensive record. I mean, we kept the most clean sheets. So you're adding to that and bringing in this modern goalkeeper who's super talented. You pretty much shored up there with maybe bringing in a Kim Min-jae as well. Your defence is absolutely locked off then. Midfield is going to be a couple of adages there, of course. And then, like I said, return at the end of the window, test Mbappe, test Kane, test a few others that kind of resolve, and then see what happens, I think. Why not?
Do you know what's doing my head? Do you know what's doing my head in? Newcastle have gone for Barella. If he was available, why the fuck were we not in for him? That is a fantastic midfielder there. He would be fucking great for us. So I don't understand why we weren't in for him, but there you go.
Well, you had the Telegraph coming out reporting about Barella, saying that Newcastle interested or they were in advanced talks or whatever it was. But then Romano came out, who's obviously in the know in Italy, saying nothing's advanced at all. There was just literally brief discussions or something. So I don't know. Barella's not that advanced yet. And if they do get him, it makes me think, are they actually interested in McTominay? Would they want McTominay as well? Or because Barella, McTominay, I mean,
they're also in for Maddison as well. Like if you get Barella and Maddison, you're not buying McTominay, are you? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Nah,
so won't be great for us. We've got 21 people in the chat. Please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to become a Real Red Ultra member for exclusive content, which the video is dropping very soon, make sure you click that join button. It's like £4 a month. It helps support the channel, get big guests on the show to discuss things like this, and you get a load of exclusives. So yeah, hope you all enjoy, and thank you to Gray as well, who's a new member.
Sky Sports have just put out sources close to Sheikh Jassim saying he's still waiting to hear if he's entered into exclusivity. No exclusivity has been granted to any party interested in buying it. Like, it's just nobody fucking knows anything. Oh, fucking Christ.
Honestly, I've never seen anything like this, ever. And it's such a weird, unique thing because no one really witnessed. I mean, when the Glazers took over United in 2005, I was 10. So I obviously don't remember it. You'll remember it more than me.
Yeah.
But you don't see anything like this with United because of how big it is, the stature and reputation, what the Glazers are like. It's just awful, isn't it? Like, and I saw a couple of journalists putting like, well, these things do take time and blah blah. I'm like, mate, come on, like they could have sold this months ago.
Like with the Chelsea takeover, every piece of information that came out was accurate. They got it, everything's spot on. With United, nobody knows a fucking thing. It's just like, it could be this, could be this. You got journalists contradicting each other. You got people saying this guy's wrong and he's biased and he's racist. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just fucking all over the place. A bunch of comments. Let me just read a couple out.
We'll read them and then we'll head off.
Where are you? Aaron Gregory. Get Tari investment and get a semi-decent stopgap and get Bastoni next summer. Bastoni is very good.
I like Bastoni, but he's left-footed. We've got Lissandro. Yeah. Don't see how they both would work together.
Shah Sam, apparently Atalanta want 100 million from Rasmus. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. That. Like, I don't understand.
Outrageous.
Dave Lewis, Ruter over Jacobs for this kind of news, but it's confusing for us as fans. Absolutely.
Agreed.
Take a loan out in Darren Fletcher's name, pay for summer signings. Okay, no. Real Reds talks. Ben Jacobs said it could go either way, and Ineos are also doing the paperwork. That's from Abhishek Maldiar. I don't know where that's from, but Ben Jacobs, yeah. Kane won't put up a fuss, too loyal to Spurs. Yeah, I agree, Gray. I agree. Aaron Gregory saying the World Cup put me off Costa. I mean, it's one tournament, man. Like, he's been great all season. He's been fantastic all season.
He keeps getting hit with that kind of spanner. Yeah.
Ashid Mia, good evening, guys. Good evening. Shrinde, deal not done, not sure what to expect now. I think it's on the way, Shrinde. I don't like deal is not done, but things are happening. There's been company registered, there's reports to exclusivity, so I think there's something going on.
Stock price, like that.
Like, there's things going on. I don't think all this happens when nobody actually knows anything. So I think things are the people in the know, things are happening. Aaron is saying Barella's like an expensive wine. McTominay is like a bottle of Frosty Jacks. Wow. Absolutely. Yeah. Gray saying McTominay buy. Shahsam, the saga continues. Yeah, absolutely. And then Dave, to be fair, Reuters said 92 were negotiating exclusivity, not that they've been granted it. Yeah, there you go. Hi, Vince Bullock. Hi, Vince. How's it going, mate? And I'm sure they should get Qatar after all these NGs and delays. Yeah, let's see what happens. Vince Bullock, guys, the champagne are nice, or is it real? Are you both too old enough to drink champagne? Laughing out loud. Too old to drink champagne?
No, you're never too old to drink champagne. I've told you since day dot, when it actually gets announced officially, club statement or everything, not when someone's reported it from the bedroom in Cardiff, I will get that champagne out of the fridge. I will be outside Old Trafford and I will be celebrating this like my life bloody depends on it. So trust me on that one. But that is where I hope we've not confused you too much with all the updates. That's pretty much every single update chronologically up until now, unless we've missed live.
I'm just gonna look to see if there's anything.
Yeah, have a quick look, and we'll discuss it if there is. But that's where we're at the minute. So Jim could still come in, offer more, and then we're back in the rat race between each one essentially. But it seems like Qatar are like that now. That's how it feels.
This is the typical, like, I've just seen this thing. This is the typical bollocks from journalists that I hate that comes out. So Alex Crook from Talk Shite. Sheikh Jassim is growing in confidence that the Glazer will accept his offer. The fuck does that mean?
I could have put that on my Twitter.
Do you know what I mean? That is absolutely nothing. I don't understand shit. I hate that. And then they said, everybody knows Sheikh Jassim, but who's the other man linked to 9-2 UK Holdings Limited? Introducing Abdul Rahman Abdullah Al Ansari. So that's the other guy involved in the 9-2 Foundation. So there's two people. So apparently that's the other dude involved in the 9-2 Foundation. So,
do we have any pictures of him?
Yeah, there's a picture.
Use him for the thumbnail.
Let's I mean,
oh god,
I might be able to put it on screen. Hold on, let's try this.
This is the picture of John. What's his name? Can we just abbreviate it? Because I feel like I'm going to struggle with that name.
So Abdul Rahman Abdullah Al Ansari. So it's quadruple A. Quadruple
A. Okay, quadruple A. Are we putting him on the screen? Is it viable?
Yeah, let me just.
So this is triple A or quadruple A? Did you say?
Quadruple A.
Yeah. So there's only two people involved in the 9-2 Foundation, right?
Yeah, that's him. He's
right.
on the screen.
Let's get a look at quadruple. They all seem to have this kind of anonymous, should I say, like mystique around them.
Yeah.
It's not come on my screen yet. I'm curious to see this myself now.
Yeah, I've put him up there.
There we go. Yeah, I can see it. Right. Okay. So yeah, that's what one of your new owners could look like, potentially. Interesting.
Yeah. What's that?
What have we got here? Yeah, that Alex Crook thing's just come up like, fuck off.
Aaron Gregory, crazy. I remember you being mid-show when the news broke of a sale and we're still no clearer. Yeah, I remember that fucking November. Dave Lewis, at least we have more pictures of Jassim now. Every time there's an update, we get a new one unlocked. Yeah, there's a couple of them floating about now. Like, we're getting pictures.
That's going to be
the same fucking thumbnail every single time.
Part of the package for like media when he joins is like you all get an exclusive picture each that you can use in your articles and stuff.
Shah Sam, that Alex just scrolls through YouTube channels and tweets and then presents him like he's got news. Man. I mean, yeah, he might as well be, hasn't he? And then me, D, thanks for the daily lives, lads. Thank you for joining in and thank you for watching.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you to everyone. We absolutely love the community that we've got here going. All the people who've become members, everyone who constantly interacting, joining the shows every single day. It means a lot. It means a lot to us. It's the reason why we do it every single day. It's the reason why we do the legwork and put in the research and try to get as much as we possibly can to tell you guys. So yeah, that is where we are at with the current ownership situation. We've of course done a transfer roundup as well to let you know where we're all at with the main B targets, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, if anything else breaks, you know the script will be live straight away. So turn on the notification bell. It's important. It'll just drop down, let you know, just tap it, and then we can all join in the conversation together and go through what maybe. Who knows what's going to happen? We didn't expect all this today. It could go quiet now for the next 2 days. That's legit how it works at United. It's very strange.
We could be here at 9 o'clock tonight with something else.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Literally. Let's see what happens. Let's just leave it to the masses, I suppose, and we'll report it when we can. Take care of yourself, guys. Me and Sam will see you a lot in the next one. Make sure you follow us on socials. All the graphics are at the bottom. The handles are at the bottom, sorry. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, and become a member if you haven't already.
Yeah. Gray 100's just joined the membership. So if you want to see the next membership video, which they will be dropping either tonight or tomorrow, join the membership and you'll get access to it. And all the other ones that we've done as well. I think how many have we done now? Like 12, 13? Something like that. It's
got to be double figures now.
So you get access to all of them. You get a badge next to your name, and then you get. I'm gonna create some more emotes. Actually, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Go away. You get one of these. Little Nick. You get that?
Little Nick, we call it. I don't know how sure like comfortable I am with that name, but I mean, it's already been. Who was it who labelled it now? I can't remember. Someone labelled it as a little Nick, but. That name is now stuck, unfortunately, for myself.
I'm going to create some for all of us. So I'm going to get like a little me, going to get a little Shreyas, Dan, Dave, Chivy. I'm going to get Adam. I'm going to get them all. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the content will stay. Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
It's not doing it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Shah Sam saying create little Adam. Oh, it's on. I'll make it, mate. Don't you worry.
Right, we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.